So this rumor's been making the rounds lately, and regardless if it's true or not, I want to get out in front of this and say some things about it. First of all, it's my gut feeling that Derek Chauvin will not be pardoned. However, I also realize that the Trump administration is corrupt and racist, so it wouldn't surprise me if it did happen. This has some legs and it's been trending a lot, so we need to talk about it because if this happens, shit's gonna go down. Back in 2020, I took my daughter to a BLM protest in our town. I live in a small conservative town that's predominantly white. My town is small enough that people in my town, the police in my town, for the most part, went to high school with me. So I took her to this BLM protest. The police chief, maybe it wasn't the chief at the time, but he's the chief now, he spoke at that BLM protest before we marched. And he said he was out there, the police were out there to show their support and to say to us that Derek Chauvin did not represent them. So we marched. The police escorted us. We marched from one place to another. When we got to that place, there were some speakers, and then the protest ended. On our way back to the car, my daughter and I, we saw about 40 to 50 people who looked like they wanted to disrupt some things. They wanted to be agitators. And I looked at my daughter and I said, time for us to go. She looked at me, and she was in her first year of college at the time. She was very well, educated on the protests, on the George Floyd murder, and so forth. She looks at me and she says, maybe there needs to be more than just a march. Maybe things need to be disrupted so that they know that we're serious about that. And I looked at her and I said, I raised you better than this. I raised you to be the person to go to the city council meetings, to get involved in your community, to affect change in a positive way. I could tell she wanted to stay there, but I made her get in the car and I made her leave with me. If this happens, if Derek Chauvin is actually pardoned by this administration, I will call my daughter and I will apologize to her for not sticking around and disrupting things a little, because this will tell me, as much as I've already known it, but this will tell me unequivocally that marching doesn't do shit. Because if they were to pardon this guy who we all watched murder a black man in the streets, if they were to pardon him, I would not be ashamed. I would not be embarrassed. I would not have any negative thoughts about anyone who decided to go out and disrupt things and do more than just march. Because I would be of the opinion at this point that peacefully protesting does not work. Now, here's where I need to talk about how corrupt the administration is. Because one reason I think Donald Trump would pardon Derek Chauvin is because he's racist, his administration is racist, and many of the Republicans who are out in front of this saying that Derek Chauvin should be pardoned are racist as well. Obviously, Marjorie Taylor Greene being one of the top. We saw Marjorie Taylor Greene post about this. Jasmine Crockett posted that Marjorie Taylor Greene is an idiot, doesn't know what she's talking about. So obviously, you have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene who are out in front of this. The other reason I think Donald Trump and his administration would pardon Derek Chauvin is because he wants to see unrest in the streets. He wants to see people out in the streets disrupting things, because Donald Trump would love to suspend habeas corpus. He would also love to get rid of due process. He would also like to impose martial law, because that, I think, is his move to becoming president again in 2028. When Trump talks about there are ways to get around him being having a third term, he's talking about things like this. Make no mistake about it. There's a possibility that Donald Trump will pardon Derek Chauvin because he wants to be able to say, we can't have votes now. There's too much unruliness in the street. We have to declare martial law, and the sitting president during martial law would be able to say, we can't vote right now. Sounds crazy, but we're talking about Donald Trump and his administration. So there's a part of me that cautions people from acting out if Donald Trump were to pardon Derek Chauvin, because it might be playing right into his hands. But there's the other part of me that says, if this happens, things are going to go down. Things are going to go down, and I can't say that I'm going to have one single problem with it. I used to be the guy who would say, peaceful protests, let's march, let's go to city council meetings, let's affect change, let's flood the zone with ourselves in be a part of the police department, the government, do whatever to affect change in a peaceful, positive way. If they pardon this guy who we all watched murder someone who looks like us, if shit goes down, I will not be the person saying, you need to get in your car and we need to go home. I just won't. I will be fed up and damn sure tired of it. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.